Howdy guys, it's Luke at Luke's APS, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the best models ever. So guys, yes, last week I did a video saying the worst models ever. That's just me doing what you've got to do on YouTube. That box of skeletons is 50 quid for like, I think it's just shy of 100 skeletons, okay? It's a very cheap kit. The only thing that I didn't like about it is just how fiddly they are. Now that doesn't matter whether you're batch building them or whatever, they are fiddly. They're very small, the contact points are quite hard work. However, the aesthetic of the models is beautiful. If you saw the video of me wash as made symbol, I threw a wash over that model. And they do look great. They're just still a bit fiddly. I don't care what anybody says, batch building, whatever you're doing, they're fiddly. And to all them people that said, Luke, you're using the wrong glue. No, I'm not. That's solid as chuff. The only thing that's weak on them is the legs, and they do snap at the knees under a little bit of pressure. But it's because they're small and they're thin. But we will compare these to these. These have been sent to me for free from Wargames Atlantic. It's not a paid sponsored video at all. They just sent me the models just to see what I thought to them after saying these were fiddly. So let's get them unboxed. Let's do a bit of a box to base. Let's get them out, show you what they look like, build a few up, paint them up and show you what they look like. And we'll compare them, scale, sizing and everything else to these. All right guys, let's get the camera down and let's get rolling. Love, love, love. Great, so in the sprue, you get the stackable sprues, which we all like. And they come on little bases. I don't think they actually come with bases. That's a shame. First shame, no bases. Does it actually say they come with bases? No bases in that box. Now that could be a mistake in my box. I don't actually know whether there's bases in these boxes. But there's bases on the models, which is a massive pet hate of mine. But looking at them, it looks like a really nice sprue. So the bodies look nice. I mean, there's less to glue together. You don't need a biology lesson to stick these together, which is a bonus. But the legs, the bodies, the torsos are already on. It only looks like it's going to be a head and an arm or two arms to do, which isn't bad. Each sprue is the same, okay? There's options for archers, spearmen, standard bearer, leader, and a musician, okay? So there's 5 different options you can have. There's no swordman, unfortunately. It's only spearmen, but these are designed to be sort of Spartans. They're working alongside Footshaw for Mortal Gods and that sort of thing. So that's why one of the guys has got like a really nice Spartan helmet. And if you are wanting Spartan shields to go with these, with like the chevrons and stuff on, I know Footshaw do them. I've been eyeing them up myself. But on this sprue, there's one archer. So out of a box of, how many of these are there? 32, you're going to only be able to get 8 archers, which for the game systems I play, I'm not that worried. To be fair, I don't think I'll have many archers at all. For Kings of War, archers are not usually that great, so I'm not that bothered. For me, it suits my purpose. But the spearmen, shields, everything on these seems relatively decently detailed. So yeah, let's stick a few together. Catch you in a bit. So guys, that was a far more pleasurable experience building these. And the only reason that makes these easier to put together is they're quite a bit bigger, which you'll see in a second. It just means that the shoulder joints are bigger, which means that the ball joint on their arm's bigger. It's a lot easier just to push together with a bit of glue on and grab. So yeah, the bit that I didn't like about the Warlord ones, with them being bigger and easier to put together, ticks all the boxes. There is a couple of negatives, which means like weapon choice and the pose ability. I mean, you can do enough with them. I hate pudding bases. I absolutely hate pudding bases. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to clip off them all, which I don't like. But it's catch-22 in it. You can't have everything you want. But they go together a lot nicer, which makes it a lot more pleasant for me, which in my eyes is the better one. I'd be more inclined to build these together than paint them than I would the Warlord ones, just because they're just that little bit fiddlier. And like I've said, these are a bit bigger. So let's let them dry. We'll get them sprayed up. I'll show you how I'm going to paint them quickly, and I'll show you what they look like, and we'll compare sizes and a few other bits. Catch you in a bit. Right, so first off, what we did is I primed them with a desert sand spray and a cheap white primer from the pound shop. I think these cost £1 each, so super cheap. And then I sprayed them all over with the desert sand, let that dry, and then I just did a zenithal highlighting with the white, so they're just shaded from above. So now what we're going to do is get some washers on them, and once we've got the washers on, pick out a couple of details, and I'll show you what they're like when they're finished. So I'll show me painting them. Catch you in a bit. So guys, for painting them, you saw me just prime over them with the two colours, and then all I did was I bathed the skeleton horde, the Citadel paint, Citadel contrast paint. Absolutely love that over the skeletons. I literally bath it on, and then on the higher areas like the tops of the heads, the shoulders, the knees, things like that, I just wet the brush and I just pull a bit of it off so you get some nice shading. And I didn't have to do anything, so very quick, and I didn't have to use much paint either, so that should do at least 100 models. So yeah, happy with that. Then I just did the brass and black bits and all the just what little there is to paint, and then on the metal areas I just put some nickel oxide just to make that brass look a bit aged. Seems as though they've been buried with them. Thought that'd look cool, and it does. Kind of like the aesthetic. But very quick paint job. It took 17 minutes I think to paint 3. And that included basing with my basing mix. If anybody wants to know what basing mix I used my Mediterranean soil. I just put the glue over the pudding base as well, because the Luke's APS basing glue turns to a thick rubber when it dries, so it doesn't shrink like PVA glue. So I base it over, and then you just chuck the stuff on, and when that sets, it'll be one solid piece. So that's why it's quick for doing that. You don't have to go in with your filler and try and blend them into the base. Okay, so that's what I did for the basing, and I'm going to do that on all these when I get around to doing them all. But size comparison, as you can see, the size is a little off from the Warlord ones. These are more like heroic scale skeletons, which is what I wanted really. One of the other things that I didn't see on the Warlord ones is how small they are. This isn't a fair comparison at all, because the old Wargames factory ones, they're an old kit. They was in relation to models that was coming out then. So the Warlord ones are very nice. I kind of like how thin, and they'd be very good for building dioramas and stuff with. And for the price, they are a very nice, cheap model. But compared to the Wargames Atlantic ones, I prefer the size. I prefer that they just go together that little bit easier. I didn't swear once putting them together. They are the better kit. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're still not expensive. They're pretty cheap. I think it's £25 for 32 skeletons. So yeah, cheap. And with the skeletons being, you don't have to actually make them Spartan themed either. You don't have to have the guy with the head on. You could just put another head on and just field normal naked skeletons. The box set of the skeletons is very generic. So yeah, for me, these win hands down. Yes, they did send me the box for free, but I just feel they're a lot bigger, they're a little bit stronger, and they fit in with more modern day models. However, the Wargames factory ones, or Warlord ones, they do get the edge on looks, but it's because they've got smaller contact joints and they do look a lot more real, but they're just a bit too small. So there's pros and cons to both kits, but for me and what I wanted, these win hands down. And I'm not just saying that to get more skeletons, because I've got as many skeletons as I need. So I actually mean that I do actually like these. There will be a link to the company below if you want to check them out yourself. So I'll try and find a UK-based company that's selling them, just so it's easy for you guys in the UK. They are a USA company, I believe. So I'll try my best to find a few links. The link isn't affiliated or anything like that, so I won't be getting a cut, but just do my bit. Do you know what I mean? I can't put any sort of Amazon affiliate links in or anything like that because I don't have it anymore. However, I won't go into that. But anyway, guys, if you'd like to support me, if you'd like to use like the base ready mixers and the glues, you can buy them from my shop below. One bag should easily do over 100 models, so yeah, cheap. The glue's awesome for filling holes and everything else, so they really work with any model with sort of pudding bases. I think that's why a lot of the historical guys like using them, because I don't have to do the filler step. So if you'd like to check that range out, do check my shop below, guys, which is Geek Gaming. If you are in America, if you're in Mexico, if you're in Australia, them products can be purchased from the resellers there as well, which the links will be below mine. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week for the next video, and hopefully I'll be feeling a lot better, because at the minute I feel like absolute shit. Love.